I'm talking to comedian Steven Wright, who is appearing at the Flynn Theater in Burlington coming up Friday, June 16th. And, Steven, I can only assume the tickets are still available or you wouldn't take the time to talk to me.
Probably. I would talk to you if we were on a stuck elevator, though.
Oh, yeah? What would you say if we were on a stuck elevator?
I would say try to open that panel up there and climb up those cables.
You know, that's a very logical and helpful suggestion, actually, which I wouldn't necessarily expect from you because your comedy is, it's sort of logical, but it's like you're the MC Escher of comedy. You know, you follow the joke around and then you wind up on the other side of the Mobius strip.
Yeah, it's pretty twisting logic. I love that artist. I was introduced to him, his work, when I was in college. It's great.
And I enjoy your stuff too, but the last time I saw you were at the Barry Opera House a couple of years. I have to admit, you had me concentrating so hard, and I was then I was laughing, but I was concentrating on the next thing. And after a while, it was like my brain shut off. It was like I needed a reboot. Does that ever happen to you on stage?
No, I'm just so focused on doing the show that I can understand. From the audience, I can understand what happened to you, because there are a lot of them in mental gymnastics. You know, the little mental puzzles.
Yeah,
you have to figure them out. So
it must take a lot of concentration for you to deliver those jokes correctly every time.
Yes, it is. The show is like walking a tightrope. You know, because if you say it a little bit off, just a little tiny bit off, it won't work. So, actually, the show it's like 85 minutes. It probably should be about 6 minutes, really, because then it would be more comfortable for the audience.
Well, there's that whole value for the dollar thing, although that, your agent might like that, because you could do, 11 shows a night, so that would, that could be good for you. So speaking of doing shows, when I Google Steven Wright, I see a lot of TV clips where you talk to interviewers who are really good at this. So once again, I'm pleased that you're talking to me today. And I was watching this interview you did with who's the guy, the tall guy? I think he's tall. He was sitting down, but I think he's tall. He has red hair. I think Conan the Barbarian.
Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, okay. So he's talking about how you lived in California and then you moved back to Massachusetts. So I was trying to picture you in California because your look doesn't really go with Venice Beach and oiling up your pecs and pumping iron and that kind of thing.
I lived in Santa Monica. I lived near the ocean, and because I love the ocean, and I just never liked being in Los Angeles, and so I was there about 12 years, and then I wanted to come back to New England, so I did. I grew up in Burlington, Mass.
Burlington, Mass.
Whenever I mentioned Burlington my whole life, they would say, "Oh, Vermont, Burlington, Vermont." I wouldn't even get to the Massachusetts unless I was actually in Massachusetts. So where are you from? Burlington. Oh, I was outside of Massachusetts. Where are you from? Burlington. Vermont? No, Massachusetts. Burlington, Vermont's way more known than Burlington, Massachusetts, even though Burlington, Vermont was named after Burlington, Massachusetts, which is not true.
Really? Well, which is not true. Oh, okay, because now you're making me dizzy again. Stop that. So you're going to be playing in Burlington, Vermont, which is not where you're from, but where you should be from.
Yes.
How did you mess that up? How could you get that
June.
wrong?
Paperwork.
You know what else is wrong is Burlington Coat Factory should obviously be in Burlington, Vermont, because it's cold here.
Yes, I don't even know where is it. Where is Burlington Coat Factory?
I think
that's another thing they would say.
I think
where the coat factory is, and I would say no.
Yeah, but I think
not the state, not the what? Would you know where it is?
I think Florida. I'm making that up.
Do you really? Do you have any idea where it is?
Somewhere south. Somewhere south. I don't really know. But I looked for it. I moved here and I looked for it. I couldn't find it. I spent a lot of time looking for it. So you moved back to Massachusetts, and I understand you're living near Walden Pond.
I lived in Boston. I lived in New York City. I lived in L.A. And then when I came back, I didn't want to be in the city anymore. I wanted to be near a city but around nature. So I live in Carlisle, Massachusetts. which is all woods and everything, and then I can be in Boston in 35 minutes. So it's beautiful.
One of the observations that you made when you were talking to that tall guy with red hair, but he was sitting down, so I can only surmise that he's tall, but Conan, was that Walden Pond was kind of ironic because Thoreau went there to get away from it all, and now millions of people go there to see where Thoreau went.
Yes, I think that's hilarious that thousands of people a year go to see where the hermit lives.
Well, what that made me think, though, Steven Wright, comedian, who's going to be appearing at the Flynn Theater in Burlington in Vermont, not his hometown in Massachusetts, on Friday, June 16th. Tickets and information at FlynnTix. What that made me think was that your comedy in some ways is similar to Yogi Berra, who once observed that nobody goes there anymore, it's too crowded.
They're incredible. They're amazing. If he actually said them, I don't know why I'm questioning it, but they're brilliant jokes.
They are, and sometimes I don't think he was joking. I don't even think.
Yeah, I know. He wasn't joking. That's the thing. He wasn't even joking, but they are great jokes, even though he was serious. Lots of serious things are funny. Someone will be telling me a story, and I'll start laughing, and they'll say, no, it's true. And I said, I don't care if it's true or it's not true. It's still funny.
So your comedy is a little bit different from other comedians. In fact, I don't know. It's like saying that comedy is like saying you do jokes, and it's not really jokes. It's like I said, like the MC Escher of humor. So maybe a humorist is more like it. But what comics do you like? Not necessarily that influenced you, but whose humor makes you laugh?
Lots of people. I mean, before George Carlin and Woody Allen stand up, and Robert Klein and David Brenner, and now Hannibal Buress and Bill Burr and Louis C.K. and Jim Jeffries. There's a lot of comedians. There's a lot of great comedians out there. I think there's more great comedians out there now than any time in the history of comedy, really.
And you're still going strong, which just, proves by process of elimination that you still have it.
I still like doing it, I'm glad people still come. I love doing the show. I love the writing. I love thinking. I love joking around. I love creating, so I feel very lucky.
The people I know that are successful in creative endeavors, like they can't stop. It's like they've got this itch to do that. And you mentioned Louis C.K. among the humorists that you admire. You've done a lot of work with him, and I think that the person that gave me all the prep stuff about what you've done probably wants me to mention all the stuff you did with Louis C.K., but I forgot it, and since you did it, I thought maybe you could talk about it.
Well, I worked on his show on FX the last 2 years of it, and then I was a co-producer on that, and then I was in his show, Horace and Pete, his website series that was on last year. He's a genius. That guy is a genius. He's from another planet. His mind is really somewhere else. It's great. He's just amazing. I'm also in an animated movie coming out in July, the end of July, called Emoji. You know the emojis in the phone?
Yeah, I do know the emojis in the phone.
It's a whole like little planet in there, which is a whole other thing for me to do a voice in a children's movie. That's interesting. I can't wait to go see my voice coming out of a 10-foot drawing, and I'm not on acid. I might go back on acid and see what that's like.
Sounds dangerously close to voicing a Smurfs movie, Steven.
Yeah, great. Great. It's another thing to experience.
See, now, when you say that Louis C.K. is from another planet, it makes me just wonder, because I think he's really, really good and really funny and really smart, so don't get me wrong, but you're like from...
I meant from another planet in the sense of his mind is so overwhelmingly brilliant.
Yeah, but you're like from another dimension. You're like from Bizarro World, where the planet has corners and stuff like that. So we've chatted on the phone like 4 times, and you tell me that you're serious and that you don't, you're not always funny, and you can't be funny on demand. And when you're saying that, I'm snickering and giggling in the background. I don't know what it is about you. Maybe it's
I know
the way the ions are charged or something. But you're funny when you're not being funny.
What happens is most people hear me, that don't know me, my friends see all sides, but most people just see that comedy side. So then when I say something like, where can you tell me where the shirts are? They're used to me saying something insane. So then when I don't even say something insane, then it comes off as funny too to a stranger, people who aren't my real close friends. Did you follow that?
Yeah, I do. And as a matter of fact, I think what you're looking for is the no irony shirts. Man, I got to tell you, not only do you make me laugh all the time, but when you laugh at my jokes, I just feel like I died and went to heaven. So thanks again. I'll send that $20 that your agent arranged just as soon as we finish up the interview here.
You're a funny guy. All the times we've talked, you've been funny. Definitely.
You bring it out of me. So Friday, June 16th is the date for Steven Wright at the Flynn Theater. 80 minutes of mental gymnastics and side-splitting humor, and then you won't be able to tell any of your friends the jokes afterwards because they're just too hard.
That's it.
Unduplicatable.
Very nice talking to you again. Thank you very much.
Nice talking to you, too. So, listen, just one more thing. I thought we could go. You played a DJ. Your voice played a DJ in Reservoir Dogs. So I thought maybe you could introduce the next song for me as the DJ.
K. Billy, Super Sounds of the 70s.
Yeah, that's the one. And I see you've got that pumped up, over-the-top delivery all ready to go there.
Get ready to hear, get ready to hear I Want to Be Sedated by the Ramones. Thank you.